Here's a Sunday evening update on the lake effect storm, which continues to howl and roar across parts of western New York. And during the day, the lake effect snow, which started out north of the Buffalo North Towns, then moving south through the Buffalo North Towns after having passed to the north through the Buffalo North Towns, gave the northern part of western New York a break during the afternoon. There's even been sunshine. But blizzard and near blizzard conditions have continued over most of the Buffalo Southtowns, including Orchard Park. So the game would have been impossible to play today. There would have been no way to get to the stadium, even were there not a travel ban, which was proven to be absolutely necessary. The governor of the NFL made the correct call, whatever your politics are. And now the lake effect snow, still very intense as I record this, will begin to make a slower move back toward the metro area during the evening hours, and by late evening will be creeping closer to the city of Buffalo in a somewhat weakened state, not to be confused with weak. It just will not be producing the kinds of snowfall rates which have already produced close to 2 feet of snow in parts of the eastern and Southtown suburbs. And as this band gets into Buffalo, its residence or staying time over the city will be limited toward morning. So there may be a new 2 to 4 inch accumulation on top of what the city has already gotten. Should the band slow down, that may have to be upped a little, but as of now, those are the indications. And the band will continue to shift farther northward during Monday and eventually get north of the North Towns into parts of Grand Island and Niagara County. But it may still be brushing northern Erie County during the day in a weakened state, but not weak. We're still going to have a southwest flow. Lake Erie, surprisingly, on Sunday at the Buffalo temperature measuring site near the water treatment plant is still 40 degrees. It will be dropping surely during this week. And by tomorrow morning, it may begin to show a more drastic drop, but it is not going to be icing up this week. This is not an ice cube tray in your refrigerator. There's a lot of water in Lake Erie. It's going to take a long time for the lake to cool down to close to 32, and it may not get the chance because in our more distant future, after next weekend, there are signs of real moderation. Get to that in a bit. So for Monday, here's the situation in Orchard Park. There will be no lake snow falling near Orchard Park. At that time, any lake snow will be confined to parts of Grand Island, maybe far northern Erie County and Niagara County in a weakened state. Southwest winds at game time may be as strong as 15 to 20, but that's nowhere near the more ferocious winds we've had Saturday and Sunday. Still, with a game time temperature of 20, that would produce a wind chill in the single digits. By second half, the winds should come down to about 10 to 15. If you can call that improvement, the wind chill will be a little less harsh, but still harsh, than it was at the start of the game. But here's the thing, and this part of it is out of my lane. CBS Sports at noon noted they had been getting some rumblings from the Bills about concerns whether there will be enough maintenance time for shoveling and plowing to get the stadium in playable shape in time for the game Monday afternoon. Because the lake snow in intense state has remained over Orchard Park a little longer than had been anticipated. The models have been about 10 miles too far south with the band, yesterday having put the band over the hilly terrain of southern tier of southern Erie County, I should say. Instead, the band has remained over the densely populated Buffalo Southtowns, with less of a window for shoveling and plowing, and only one tunnel at the stadium with which the snow can be evacuated out of the stadium, let alone getting the plowing done in the lots. It is somewhat questionable whether the game will be playable Monday afternoon, but at this point, it is, as of this recording, still scheduled for Monday at 4:30, and I'm sure you'll hear about it if there's a necessary postponement to Tuesday. This is strictly a maybe, and again, this is out of my lane. This is what CBS Sports had been reporting at midday. In the meantime, on Tuesday, There will still be some limited lake snow, but we may see some more widespread light snow from a storm system moving off the east coast. It would not be the lake effect variety itself and would not produce major accumulations, but could be enough to keep roads slick. And within it, a localized southwest flow could produce some local lake effect snow, mainly north and northwest of Buffalo, embedded within the widespread non lake effect snow. In other words, snow, it's kind of like picture in a picture on a TV. It's a little embedded area. Tuesday, it does not look like amounts at this point are looking to be major, but it just adds to the load. As the week goes along, there are going to be a couple of more episodes of lake effect snow, but I can tell you it is a pointless exercise on a Sunday evening to try to detail any of this future lake effect as to location, timing, intensity. I can only say with high confidence it's going to be a cold to very cold week all week long, and we haven't had a week like that this winter. And if you are hearing rumblings that it's going to be this way right on through the remainder of the winter, the evidence doesn't really support that. We're going to have more ups and downs, and there is an upcoming in the next 7 days. The absolute coldest day may be a relatively dry day, Saturday, next Saturday, when temperatures are going to be in the low to mid teens with some pretty harsh and brutal, you might say, wind chills. But after we get through next weekend, ridging in the upper atmosphere is going to edge into the east and push the polar air away, allowing temperatures to return to above average by about the 21st or 22nd. And that's not too far off if you are greatly depressed by all this. And then that should last for at least several days. There are early hints that we may be getting chillier again at the very end of the month. What has happened to help unload all this on us is that polar vortex, which in December was strong and locking most of the polar air near the polar region in December, giving us such a warm December, did get disrupted, and a piece of the polar vortex did slip south and took polar air with it and dropped it into the plains, especially the Midwest and the Great Lakes, and all the way down into Texas. They're getting a blue norther. That's when a north wind just takes temperatures first at Amarillo and then farther south in Texas just dives them down in a real short time span. For us, though, this very cold air will stay in place through at least next weekend and then begin to relax its grip. And as I said, we should be returning to somewhat above average temperatures after 7 or 8 days. And that should last at least several days, maybe some more cooling at the very end of the month. So the bottom line, the actual conditions, if the stadium is usable Monday afternoon for the game, harsh cold, but no falling snow, and probably no blowing snow at that time. But it remains a question whether the logistics prior to the game are going to work out. In the meantime, tonight, the intense lake effect snow will be shifting northward again toward the metro area, weakening somewhat, but not becoming truly weak, and then shifting north of the metro area during Monday, weakened but not truly weak. So I'll keep you updated on social media and here on the podcast. Thanks for listening this far. Please share and follow.